Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chaos TV number 19 Challenger Series. My name is Nature. Once again, I'm joined by Rapid. This is game 2 between TheFoxSound and Ex-MYM. And while game 1 started off fairly even, at some point TheFoxSound managed to get in control and they snowballed the game from there.
Yeah, and the end of the game was about as imbalanced as the beginning of the game was even, because for the first, I think 5 or 10 minutes of the game, we saw equal kills, perfect counter ganking from Mokate. That guy was absolutely everywhere he needed to be. He kept Makler alive, and he was actually also able to go to take Fun's lane, so I think at least a couple times in the first 10-15 minutes, and counter ganked pretty well there too. But with the preoccupation that Godbro has to play these big crazy assassins, went with Akali game number 1 this time. We're going for a first pick LeBlanc.
Yeah, Zirius picking up the LeBlanc for his team right there. MYM have once again picked up the Yasuo. Now, last game around, they did manage to get some good last breaths out of Take Fun's Yasuo. Question is whether they'll be able to do it again, and I feel like they need something more than that. They have picked themselves up the Vi as well, so they might be looking for some single target elimination, because of course the Vi is a little bit more tunnel visioned, if you will, compared to the Wukong with their assault and battery. Godbro picking up the Thresh for his team. Santorin going with the Lee Sin, so that might mean it's going to be the early game for TFS here.
And with MYM going with pretty much the same comp that they had in game 1, one of the big things for TheFoxSound was that they were able to take that Vi away. We talked about how that was a great pick away from MYM because it just really sets that mid lane up to snowball. You can't escape from it. There's a knockup at the end, and with Assault and Battery being such a good lockdown skill, it just sets up perfectly for more Yasuo kills, more Yasuo damage, and of course more deaths along the road as he does start to snowball. But we're looking for maybe an aggressive top lane pick here, and not sure exactly what was locked in, but TheFoxSound, they've got kind of an interesting team comp this time around, maybe hovering over a little bit of a non-standard AD carry.
Yeah, hovering over the Twitch and the Vayne. Now, they haven't decided what they're going to pick up just yet. Saichin hovering over a whole range of champions as well. It's going to be the Mundo for TheFoxSound here alongside the Sivir, so a little bit more common than the Twitch and the Vayne, of course. That being the Sivir, going for a little bit more movement and such, as MYM are looking to counter out the Mundo by picking up the Trundle, which is something we do see quite often, and it wouldn't surprise me if MYM were actually to lock that one in.
Yeah, now if you do go for the Trundle Yasuo is an incredible combo, because you don't really have to get those huge, big Alistar, pulverized knockups. The combo with Yasuo, all you need is just a little bit of disposition, which you do actually get from Trundle's Pillar. Turns out Trundle's Pillar actually also stops your allies from recalling, which is a little bit funny as well, but it's nice to see that come out. And with the way that Take Fun has been playing as Yasuo is kind of unique. I haven't really seen that style before. It's very you play very far up in your lane. You're putting on a lot of pressure and makes you really vulnerable to ganks. But this time around, you should see him playing a little bit more towards the mid lane to set up some ganks from Okate's Vi.
All right, so I'm hoping this is not a bug and this is intentional, because right now on TheFoxSound, 4 members have selected teleport. I'm thinking that's intentional and that that they are going to change that at some point, but it will be really fun to see 4 members actually running teleport.
Well, you're a little bit ahead of me, and this could be a very interesting combination by MYM. Teleport, it's kind of like Revive in that it's not the spell that you want to have in lane, because it's overall weaker than things like Barrier, or things like Ignite, or even Heal to some extent. But once you get towards the very, very late game, Teleport allows you more flexibility than almost any other summoner spell in the game, because you can make it halfway across the map in an instant, take down big objectives, go for these big backdoor plays, and just really sets you up for some pretty incredible actions. So I'd like to see Teleport out of Dr. Mundo. You kind of expect it up there because he's not very mobile and it helps him farm and then get to team fights quickly, but what do we see here for MYM?
Yeah, so MYM aren't running too much when it comes to weird summoner spells. On the other hand, the TheFoxSound are running 2 teleports opposed to the 4 that they were showing off earlier. So only Godbro and Xerius will be using teleports. I say only, but 2 is quite a lot actually on a 5-man team, of course.
All right, so Ex-MYM, your team on the left, taking on their opponents in the red. These guys are the... Okay, wait, no. I said that backwards. It's Ex-MYM on the right in the red, taking on the guys from the TheFoxSound, featuring Centaurin. Shout out to his old team, Intellectual Playground. I love those guys, and I love seeing a team like the TheFoxSound work out so well. I guess one of the more experienced lineups in US. So we'll go ahead and take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, it's game number 2 between the TheFoxSound and Meet Your Makers. Before we hop into the game, do want to make sure you guys remember to check out our sponsors at Esports Venture. You can check out the link right down below the screen. If you do that, you get a little bit of an extra bonus to your esports betting. If that's what you're interested in, checking out some of the best leagues around the world, you can head over to esportsventure.com and bet on the EU and NALCS, as well as a ton of extra amateur leagues as well. So make sure to head over there and check them out. Thank them for supporting us, and stay tuned, because we'll be right back with the TheFoxSound versus Ex-MYM. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Chaos TV's presentation of the EU West Challenger Series number 19. I am Rapid. I'm here with Nature, and we are getting into game number 2 Between the TheFoxSound, you can see them in the blue, grouping up down there in the bottom half of the map, taking on Ex-MYM, the roster in the red. Similar team composition, a little bit more refined. You're going to see both teams not spread out at all. No defensive starts for either one of these guys. They're all about those level 1 fights.
Yeah, MYM moving in towards that blue buff area of the TheFoxSounds very decisively here, as the TheFoxSound aren't quite deciding what they're about to do just yet. It seems like they will be spreading out, as we do have Santorin actually heading over towards that blue buff, which could be very, very bad for him. He does have his Sonic Wave Resonating Strike available. He kicks it in there. He spots out Take Fun, and that means he knows what's going on. Wards get put out by Kuban, but Kuban gets spotted out by Santorin's own ward, so that's going to be that for now, and MYM are forced to back away.
MYM, I was thinking about this before coming into these games, or Ex-MYM rather. We want to make sure we put that part in there. But Ex-MYM, they always go for this big sort of, it's a very elaborate plan. Their team fights are supposed to work out one way, and while if you practice that way, it works pretty well, it's kind of prone to falling apart towards the later stages of the game, where guys like Xerius got cut out. There was a couple, Xerius got caught out a couple times, but there wasn't anybody to capitalize on that. Now, actually, Xerius teleporting to that top lane, maybe a little bit of an early use of teleport, but it did allow him to give the rest of his team enough strength to push off on that buff. And wait, Godbro just teleported to the mid lane, but it's like he could have walked there almost more quickly.
Crazy Cap's actually taking a heavy amount of poke in that bottom lane. Now, this is very smart out of the TheFoxSound what they just did. They stole the blue buff of Ex-MYM, but Santorin did take his own blue buff. So, let's see who actually took the blue buff. It was Godbro who took the blue buff in the end for the TheFoxSound. So that means MYM know that this went down, but at the same time, Santorin isn't going to fall behind because of that, because he will be able to pick up both of his buffs without any delay.
Oh, Death Sentence there on him. Libic forcing the flash out there. I am not sure Libic needed the flash, but better safe than sorry. And nice to see Zichion putting on so much pressure. If you guys have been following the TheFoxSound for a while, you know that they've made a little bit of a change to the roster, picking up Godbro instead of, I believe it was Lapras. But
yep.
At least this way, you know, he's LCS eligible, and there's all sorts of nice things that come along with that. Plus, a very experienced player in his own right. Oh my. Okay, Take Fun almost knocked up Godbro in turret range, and that would have been death. But Ignite actually going down on his Zichion.
Yeah, Crazy Cap's trying to do work on Makler and Libic right there. Not quite fancying his chances in the end, although the Boomerang Blade coming in there gets dodged by Makler's relentless pursuit, so good dodge coming out of him right there. But the TheFoxSound are certainly putting on the pressure here. Now hold that thought for a second, because Makata could be coming in here for a gank. Doesn't quite decide to go in there. He's a little bit hesitant, and Santorin is there as well. He shows himself because the ward is in that brush, and that means Makata is just going to back away. He's not quite decided what he's going to do here yet.
Bottom lane will just be kind of a one-on-one for a while. Zichion should take his way back to base. It's interesting that you can take Thresh's Lantern and it doesn't stop him from backing, so I want to see like really weird interactions where it takes you all the way back to base, but I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. The Dr. Mundo versus Trundle matchup top lane should be probably the least exciting of all of the lanes that we've seen so far today, but as maybe boring as that lane is going to be to watch, this middle lane is going to be non-stop action. You can see junglers already starting to camp it out. See Yasuo having a little bit of a rough time after Godbro started off with a little bit of an early advantage, and now just hitting level 5 level advantage as well. Take Fun still going in aggressively.
Yeah, which is of course we do see quite usually on the Yasuo, because of course they can just hop around like bunnies with rabies, I guess, and of course Godbro might have a little bit of trouble. The wind will of course blocking out some of those skill shots out of Godbro, any projectiles even. And Godbro, well, he is doing work on towards Take Fun, but Take Fun is doing quite a good job in defending himself.
Just look at all these mana potions picked up by the FoxSound. That's actually kind of an interesting item addition. Ooh, Silence goes on to Take Fun V2. Does get that nice crit damage down on a Godbro, but yeah, a lot of mana pots in there just to stay in lane, use their spells to just AoE wave clear CS. At least that's what usually picking up those early mana pots signifies. Unless you're on an assassin, like you just saw Godbro use the mana pot, but that's just because he wants to put more and more aggression on a Take Fun V2.
Yeah, Godbro could have been in trouble right there. Take Fun.
Godbro just ulted or used his mimicked distortion to dodge away from damage that Take Fun was going to put out. So that's a little bit overly defensive, but now won't have his ultimate for a while.
In the top lane, Sirius flashing at the exact right moment to dodge Makata's Volt Breakers. Beautiful flash right there. I'm not sure our producer actually got that, but in the end, Sirius, beautiful flash, and that means, of course, that Sirius is going to live to see another day. Meanwhile, Fun picks up first blood.
And that is how good that combo is from Yasuo. Flashes in there, gets the dash in, knock up as well. Let's go straight into a last breath. Ignite combo picks up the kills. So Take Fun picking up his kills in between turrets, and that's just kind of hashtag things Yasuo does. Already starting off the game pretty well for MYM.
Yeah, but do remember that they did start out the last game with 4 early kills, and then they finished up losing it quite badly in the end. So the battle isn't done here just yet. Sirius actually got himself a subjugate on himself, so that cooldown, or that ultimate, is going to be on cooldown for the next 40 seconds. Not too long for them, as we do see the TheFoxSound scrambling towards that dragon area, and it seems like they are going to take that one down fairly uncontested.
And that's actually kind of odd, because it was actually just Take Fun V2 who established an advantage for his team in the mid lane. And so just kind of out-rotating them there. They lose their mid lane pressure and are still able to pick up that dragon. The TheFoxSound doing very, very well at maybe losing out their lanes, but picking up that nice early global objective.
Ooh, Take Fun taking a little bit of damage in that middle lane by the distortion, of course, as we do have Take Fun. I thought he was rotating over towards that bottom lane, but it seems he was just popping a ward into that river ramp, meaning he, of course, doesn't want to get snuck up on by Santorin, who himself is right now doing the red buff, so he might just start to gank fairly soon once again. And to be honest, even though the Lee Sin is a fairly early game centered champion, we didn't see Santorin in a whole lot of action in this early game so far.
Death Sentence coming out will land on a Play backwards as well. And there's the Ignite barrier. It's not going to be enough. It's going to burn down through the barrier. And Zixion taken out. Mackler just pulls him in. And that's why they call it the Death Sentence.
Yeah, that certainly is. Makata right now rotating over towards that bottom lane as well, trying to help out Libic. Libic sticking around, but here is Santorin. I was talking about early game pressure, and this could be it. Santorin gets hit up by the Volt Breaker, uses the Dragon's Rage, doesn't seem to be quite enough. There's the Assault and Battery. Makata picks that one up. He takes a little bit too much damage for his liking. Crazy Caps picks up the kill and the double buff. Here's the teleport coming in out of Godbro. He picks himself, or will he pick himself up that kill, being forced to flash in the end. Libic not quite dying just yet, as Libic manages to pick up Crazy Caps. Flash coming out of him, but it's not going to be enough to save him. Saichian dodging around as much as he can, but it is not going to be quite enough to save himself from Take Fun, and Take Fun cleans it up.
That was really greedy there for the TheFoxSound. They could have saved themselves those 2 deaths and just walked away, but no, they just had to pick up the kill on little old Annie, and that's kind of ironic since Libic is about 8 feet tall, but it's still ridiculously aggressive, and they want to pan for it. So now Santorin coming in, making Take Fun pay for that early aggression. Double chains there, 2 of them. helping out Godbro, and he will be able to take down Take Fun. Probably wasn't having too much fun right there.
Yeah, of course, you cannot dodge the distortion with the wind wall, so Godbro in the end once again cleaning up right there, using that distortion to blow up Take Fun and make him out his last breath, if you will. But he will be returning to this rift in a couple of seconds. There he is. He has respawned. Meanwhile, that bottom lane, Crazy Caps and Zaichin looking to pick up that turret. Turret hasn't gone down here just yet. Ricochet doing work on that minion wave, but the turret has gone down. So Crazy Caps and Zaichin are going to be fairly happy with that, because that was the very first turret of the game. Meanwhile, Kuban could be finding himself in trouble. Subjugate being used. There is Santorin. The Sonic Wave not quite connecting, and the TheFoxSound being forced to back out.
A little bit of an ill-advised LeBlanc combo there. I'm pretty sure any other combo of skills would have been more effective, but Godbro is going to get in there immediately into the last breath. Might have a little bit more than he can chew there. It's going to be his mirror images passive popped up, and he's got buffs on. There's no confusion with the mirror image, and there's going to be one kill. Godbro somehow makes it out alive. He's going to be alive, but unfortunately Limbic not quite so lucky.
Yeah, Crazy Caps just dancing in front of the turret right there as the briefcases come out of Xerius. We did see Godbro with a double buff trying to pull off a nice little juke, but in the end it didn't quite work because, of course, he did have that double buff. He's rotating over towards that bottom lane. This could be very, very bad.
Oh, and
doesn't have any mana.
Down as well, just to push Take Fun into a situation he really didn't want to be in. Dive through the turret, takes him down, and Yasuo he's not even losing that 1v1 matchup, he's losing to the entire coordinated team. And in the bottom lane, we saw an incredible play there as Godbro just walked down there, caught Mackler looking, and took him out on his way back to base.
Yep, Santorin helping out with that one, as Mackler didn't have any mana, as I said earlier. So that means it's going to be 7-4, 2,000 gold lead. Very first turret being picked up here just now for MYM, or Ex-MYM rather, as well, for now it doesn't seem too good for the Ex-MYM team, but the dragon is coming up in another 50 seconds, so they might be able to pull themselves back into this game by taking down that dragon.
Yeah, first dragon of the game, keep in mind, did go to the TheFoxSound, and this is kind of uncharacteristic because they just lost their first blood. They gave that up in the mid lane to Take Fun. And honestly, Take Fun's doing pretty well, but really no one else on that Ex-MYM roster is really in that same category. I mean, you got a couple of kills onto Annie, but it's actually been a couple of deaths on her as well. A lot of focus on that bottom lane, and it's wound up with Libic going down more often than not. So while we fixed some connection issues, we've taken a little bit of a kind of a pause to the game before we get into anything too crazy. Some interesting stuff to talk about in the meantime is kind of a weird build that we're seeing out here. Both Sivir's going Blade of the Ruined King, which is very uncharacteristic. You see Bloodthirster starts from Sivir and Lucian in that same matchup, but that's going to free Lucian up to go for the Trinity Force, two components of which have been completed already. And I'm not sure what LeBlanc is going to do with that second amplifying tome, but maybe turn it into a Void Staff?
Could be. I honestly wouldn't be able to tell at this point. Now it seems like we are going to head back in towards this game, as we will certainly find out relatively soon what Godbro is going to pick up. When it comes to items, it has just gone back to base, so it seems like the amplifying tome might have been just some extra money lying around, as we do find Take Fun in all kinds of trouble. He's going to go down. Crazy Caps picking that kill up.
And that was just off of a nice kick by Santorin, just right there, right where he needed to be. And I mean, I think that takes a little bit of pressure off of just how good his positioning was. Coming around that mid lane and just putting... Take Fun is having no fun right now because he's not necessarily getting camped. It's just that he finds himself in the worst possible position. Now, Ex-MYM off of their mid laner's death are going to try for this dragon. They'll take it down, but can they win the following team fight?
Oh god, bro, getting stunned up in that dragon pit. Does manage to mimic out as we do find Makata in trouble as well. Santorin will be following that kill up. Goldbro taking it home as Crazy Caps finds himself in trouble against two members of the enemy team. We did see another member, and namely Libic, going down on that Ex-MYM team as well. And that means the TheFoxSound get a free reign over that blue buff. And they will be picking that one up 10-4. And once again, the TheFoxSound getting out of control here.
How much is a dragon worth? It's around this time. It's worth maybe 2 champion kills, depending on where they are in their killing sprees. But it's not worth losing your entire team. There's a double jump in there from Godbro, but can he land these chains on to take fun?
Oh!
Yes, and it does land it. Maximum range play backwards in the dragon's rage as well. Just flying all over the place. Like I said, it's a no fun zone in the mid lane.
Yeah, they were playing a little bit of tennis with him as he was just, well, as he just flew all over the place. The TheFoxSound right now fancying their chances on that bottom lane inner turret. Santorin, Zaichin, and Xerius rotating over there. Kuban is there all alone, tasked to defend that. Meanwhile, that middle lane, Assault and Battery coming down on Goldbro. He manages to get out that double distortion. It's not going to be enough as he gets shut down by Mackler. Meanwhile, Crazy Caps looking to rejoin his team as they take down the turret, rotate over towards that jungle, and take down the white just before making a clean escape.
And man, every single execution just looking so smooth for the TheFoxSound, but that time around there was a little bit of a hiccup. And they've actually shown some weaknesses early on, and maybe some of those coming back is overdiving just a little bit, and Godbro getting caught out. There's the box right underneath the turret. Bokaza gonna get slowed down, breaking a couple walls of the box, but look at that last breath, just crushing things through. Fortunately, Take Fun does not live long enough, and it's a double kill for Zishion. Man, these are some bloodthirsty supports, and we were talking earlier, Nature, wondering what that amplifying tone was gonna be. Turns out it's a Medjai's Soul Stealer.
He is being a little bit confident, talking about confidence. Santorin chasing down Makata here. Makata will be having that Vault Breaker up, but it doesn't seem to be quite enough as Santorin finishes the job with his very own Sonic Wave. And that means it's going to be 15-5 here on in the game between the TheFoxSound and MYM. And, well, I'm not sure MYM or Ex-MYM can actually stop the TheFoxSound at this point, especially not if Godbro manages to pick up some more kills at this point.
Speaking of Godbro, he's got 4 stacks on that Medjai's Soul Stealer. You get 20 ability power from every single one of those. So if you get a 20 stack Medjai's, that's 400 AP and of course 15% CDR. Well, he only needs 16 more of them, so we'll see if he can find his way towards 8 more kills. But it's 15-5 already. This game is somewhat out of hand, and with one game in the bag already, all it's going to take is this victory to advance the TheFoxSound to the grand finals of EUS Challenger Series number 19.
Yep, and they are really, really close to that victory right now. Zaichin and Santorin could be trying to get a hold of Libic and Mackler here. They don't quite manage to catch them out. They do manage to find some wards though, or one rather, and they clear that one out. Pop a pink ward in there as well, and that means they have full vision control almost over that MYM or Ex-MYM jungle, if you will. And, well, Xerius, don't think he's going to be in real trouble against Kuban here.
Only took 2 wards to get that down. Death sentence there onto Libic. And there's Annie to retaliate immediately. The follow-up from Okada into the last breath. No kills just yet. Position on the run. Will he be able to escape from this? Probably not, but we'll see. He's actually making his way out of there really, really fast as those boosts have moved fast in the back. And now, oh, Crazy Caps, and there's Godbro coming in. We'll pick up one more stack. Zishion turns around for another death sentence. They're going to get those. Oh, wow. Centrin denies Godbro a stack. And there's shutdown from Kuban flashing in. Gonna get one. Finds a second. But in the middle of the enemy team, how much longer can he survive? Godbro's going to distortion his way out of there. And Kuban, just such a huge force in this fight, but without the rest of his team to back him up.
Yep, as it seems, Godbro could be finding himself in trouble nonetheless, but Kuban gets locked up by the ethereal chains, and he goes down 18-7. The TheFoxSound still looking very, very strong. They did lose 2 members in that fight, though, so it was a little bit messy for them, but they aren't out of it. They are certainly not out of it here, as, well, we might have Take Fun trying to chase down Sirius. Sirius, I think he's a little bit too tanky at this point for Take Fun, and in the end, Take Fun is not going to be able to kill him.
And when you talk about a mid laner not able to kill somebody when he's as assassin based, oh, no Flay to land. Where's the death sentence? Does hit onto Livic. This is one big guy going down in a very big way. 3v1 finally gets taken out. Santorin picking up that kill. Let's see what we're at as far as Medjai stacks. Up to 7 for God Bros. So he's going to be having a lot of extra ability power. And you look, he doesn't have a whole lot of extra items, but 228. It's a good AP score for now.
Alright, so it seems like MYM are trying to move over towards that top lane. Santorin and Sirius are trying to take down that last outer turret of Ex-MYM. For now, they aren't quite managing to do so just yet, as Kuban is being quite the nuisance here. Mackler just clearing out some wards there. Godbro did show himself, I think. I'm not too sure. If he didn't, he did show himself for now. But in the end, that turret is going down, and that means there's no outer turret standing here for MYM. And that means, of course, that the TheFoxSound team can fairly easily walk all over the place through that MYM jungle if they choose to do so.
Chain's coming to last. Livic's top lane, but very, very low. You can see the inclusion of that Morellonomicon really keeping him unable to heal. But really, that's not that effective against an Annie. It's mostly going to be against guys like Trundle, who are capable of regenerating ridiculous amounts of hit points. Santorin goes for the extra damage on the ward, or the extra attack speed on the ward clear with his flurry passive, but accidentally aggroes Baron. Takes a little bit of pain for his troubles.
Yeah, Baron gets a little bit angry as Santorin will just return towards that middle lane to defend it.
I was worried about Mackler there for a second because we've got kind of the Fnatic brush, Crazy Caps and Zicheon setting that one up, but they're not going to find anything just yet because while there's no Baron attempt going, there's the burst over the wall. Kuban taken down very, very low. He's going to latch it, but Kuban just barely taking up that culling over the wall. Picks up 1 kill from Mackler. Now Take Fun chasing off Godbro.
Yeah, but in the meantime, the TheFoxSound doing work on that bottom inhibitor. Crazy Caps and Zychin attacking as fast as they can. 4-man trying to recall on that MYM team. 3 get interrupted by Godbro, and that means there's only 2, or only 2 members have recalled. And, well, Sirius isn't done with these guys just yet. And, well, Crazy Caps and Zychin managed to take down the turret.
Yeah, great job by Sirius. He wasn't able to stop everyone, but he was able to to allow that dual lane for the TheFoxSound to take down that bottom 3rd tier turret. So first base turret of the game, rather, going down. And Ex-MYM starting to get in a really rough spot. They've lost their bottom turret, so they'll have to be down there defending that against being backdoored, like we just saw it happen right now. But the Baron buff, also pretty highly contested, even with some ward coverage being placed out right now by Mokata.
Yep, but Santorin's still in there clearing out all of those wards. It did cost him his life last time around. This time, he isn't done with clearing out those wards just yet. MYM sticking around near that Baron area, but they have no idea that the TheFoxSound are actually trying to 2-man this one. Pillar comes in, and that will spot them out and deter them from finishing it. Or will it? Because it seems like the TheFoxSound are actually going to try and finish it.
They're all there, and Godbro's got a teleport going in, hits 1 on to Take Fun, and there's actually the silence coming out. Canes will latch, the culling coming backwards, not going to hit anyone up there, but Godbro in the back is not where he wants to be. Fails the distortion over the wall, goes down. Now it's up to the rest of the TheFoxSound to try to come back in. Kuban's going to the back line, but just not enough.
Yeah, Kuban now desperately trying to get out. Makata not done. They're not done with Makata just yet. Oh, great Sonic Wave. Resonating strike on towards Makler. That might just put him a little bit too deep. Great death sentence as well out of Zaichin. But MYM aren't done here chasing just yet. Flash! Resonating strike will be enough to finish off Makler. And that means Santorin will pick up that kill for his team. In the end, the TheFoxSound once again victorious, or well, I don't think they're actually victorious in that team fight, but that certainly puts them in a good spot to take down that middle inner turret.
Man, Kuban just dove Godbro. No peel at all. Godbro also failed his distortion out there, so wasn't quite what he wanted to have happen. So Godbro died because he failed his distortion, but Crazy Caps as well just didn't get any peel. And while the tank line for the TheFoxSound is fully capable of picking up kills, you kind of got to protect those carries out there, because with that death, Godbro all the way down to 6 stacks, whereas he would have been up at around 9. So a little bit rough to see him lose those, because his power is very, very combo based like that. But at least for the time being, maybe some signs of life here from the Ex-MYM roster.
Ooh, Godbro almost finding Take Fun right there. Take Fun, though, with a good wind wall, will manage to live to see another day. Makler picking himself up the red buff, getting that slow and the damage over time in there, of course, as he will also be taking home those 2 golems. Now we do have some pings coming down on that Baron out of the TheFoxSound. Even though it's risky, they might be able to sneak it. There is a ward in there, though.
Godbro going back to base, and this time around is probably going to pick up. Yeah, there's that DFG. How many LeBlancs do you see go 3rd item Deathfire Grasp? It's a little bit of a different take on the LeBlanc play, but hey, it's working out so far. All the way up to 300 ability power and solidly in the lead, but not overwhelmingly so. And while we did see Baron attempted earlier on by the TheFoxSound, looks like they're still just using it to bait out teamfights instead of actually trying to take it down.
Ooh, Kuban could be finding himself in trouble. There's the Ethereal Chains. That is going to lock him up. Santorin, with a good Dragon's Rage, will secure that kill for Godbro. Godbro taking it home in the end, and that means that there is no Kuban, no real tank at this point for MYM. That means it's going to be a fairly, well, it's probably going to be contested as Godbro goes in once again. Makata has the Ignite ticking. Great resonating strike. What a snipe right there.
Steals the kill from Godbro. It had Ignite on it, or that wasn't the Ignite, it was the passive from Morel Namicom. Even still, secured it there at the end. Man, Sandra has been on point. In that last fight, he actually sniped out Makler and went for that crazy flash resonating strike on there. And oh, almost taken down.
For a moment, I thought
Take Fun, but Windwall's going to keep him out of there.
Ooh, Godbro could be going in here once again. Takes a little bit too much damage for his troubles.
With Godbro playing around up top lane with Take Fun, the rest of the TheFoxSound will push into Ex-MYM's base. They'll take down their 2nd base turret of the game. A little bit of a moral victory there as Makler and Libic take down the Dragon, but they're going to lose their inhibitor. Might even lose a 2nd inhibitor there. They're down in the bottom part.
Oh, there's a death sentence, and there's the DFG. Take Fun almost gets bursted instantly. Makata also being followed up right there. Dragon's Rage and the Resonating Strike is going to be enough to take him down alongside the Ignite. Kuban being forced back on towards the platform of his base, and Makler in all kinds of trouble. Godbro will probably be taking that kill down, although he's taking too much damage to actually finish that kill off. So Santorin will be securing that one for Godbro once again. Very first Nexus turret going down. Makler actually being able to pick up Godbro in the process, but the TheFoxSound are not going to get stopped as they manage to land another death sentence on towards Libic. That's going to be the 2nd Nexus turret. That's going to be the Nexus. That's going to be the game here in a 2-0 sweep for the TheFoxSound.
GG, well played. It's coming out 28-11 and 9-1 in turrets. The TheFoxSound will take out Ex-MYM. That means that they will be moving on to the grand finals.